Howdy, YouTube! We are here reacting. We got Upper Echelon next up on deck. We just finished Epic Rap Battles of History. I wasn't quite ready to go back to gaming, so we are going to react to some more stuff. We got Upper Echelon. The drama is dumb, capital dumb. I assume it's incredibly dumb. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Not a big deal. I'm excited for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Haven't finished Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, but I love it. It's a really challenging game. I enjoy it a lot. If you don't like the challenge of the game, that's understandable. You can also little tidbit. There are mods that let you use dev commands, which gives you God mode. So if you're bad at the combat but you still want to experience the game, I recommend doing that. Let's see what they're freaking out about for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And hopefully it's nothing too terrible because I really want to play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 when it goes on sale. I'm currently out of a job for 2 weeks as of Friday, so I don't really want to spend that much money on a brand new game unless it's super important. So let's see what Upper Echelon has to say. By the way, give him a like and subscribe. Check out the original video. He is very smart. He usually does a lot of downer content. I mean, he does some stuff that you definitely need to know. Some deep, dark things that you didn't know was going on. It's very important. People like him are doing very important work. However, I'm not always in the mood to be depressed about life. So we're gonna watch this fun one about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 drama.
This video is brought to you by Surfshark.
Hey, Surfshark.
The special offer they're providing
Thanks,
to the
Surfshark.
entire Echelon community. Okay, just to make something clear right off the bat, this isn't a review of the game because I'm not done with it yet. Later on, when I'm finished, I definitely will make a final review. But for right now, I want to talk about
that means it's very important.
This game.
He doesn't usually do a lot of reviews.
Call it that because a lot of people are idiots, and I tried to stay quiet because telling the idiots that they are in fact idiots usually causes them to harass you.
Yeah, idiots don't like being called idiots. They can't deal with it because they're idiots, and it hurts their pride because they think they're not idiots. Usually, they think they're the smartest people, and when you say that they're idiots, they think that you are harassing them.
But considering the fact that the original Kingdom Come Deliverance game was a pretty big moment for my entire channel, I figured, what the hell, I might as well just do it. Here's the background. Kingdom Come Deliverance, developed by Warhorse Studios, is an open-world, story-driven RPG.
Great game.
Almost universally praised when it first came out in 2018.
Yeah, great game.
I loved it, and I also got to see in real time how the game was attacked for somehow failing to conform in terms of modern expected narrative themes. As an example of that, we can look at Eurogamer, which essentially panned the game, saying, quote, "There's also a big problem. There are no people of color in the game." And
you mean historically accurate? Shame. Shame.
Quote, even going on to individually target the game's creative director, Daniel Vavra, calling him a vocal supporter of Gamergate, and doubling down on the idea that exclusion is...
It's always Gamergate. Always comes back to Gamergate. Something they started and then like to blame other people for starting.
Form of racism. Ergo, Kingdom Come Deliverance, by not having more black people, de facto makes the game racist. That is quite obviously on its face absurd, especially when you...
Well, then I guess that means all of history is racist. Which is not true. History is classist.
Consider the fact that the setting for this game is the medieval kingdom of Bohemia, which was not a diverse place in any sense of the modern word. But the thing that I want to focus on is a top-down expectation of control. If you want a much more recent example of this phenomenon, look no further than Hogwarts Legacy, which was boycotted because of J.K. Rowling's allegedly transphobic opinions, but that boycott, and there's huge air quotes around that word, ultimately failed to impact the game whatsoever, as it went on to become a massive commercial success because it was a good game. See, that's really...
Yeah, also because some people were just buying 2 copies to spite all the people who were telling them they weren't allowed to play the game. Gamers don't like it when you try to tell them how to spend their money and time. Gamers earn their money and work hard for their money. So when you tell them what they can and can't do, they don't like that. They play games to unwind and escape reality, and you are trying to butt your nose into their escape from reality and force reality into it. And that never works.
Really what people care about in this industry. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions, obviously. But what people truly want is a good, well-made, fun gameplay experience And if they get one, they don't really care about the politics.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you, Upper Echelon. I know a lot of people have said it, but it's important to thank people whenever they come out and say this on big channels like this. All we want is a good game. We don't care about the politics in the game. Like, I don't care if you could be gay and have a gay romance in this game. Doesn't matter to me. I will romance whoever I feel like romancing in the game. I just want a good game to do it in.
Or the social issues. Take Baldur's Gate 3, for example. That game
Take Baldur's Gate 3 for every example of anything you need an example of for a good game.
has a metric ton of what people refer to as woke narrative options, especially in the romance category. But the sheer depth of choice, the scale of the world, the amount of options that you have on what or when or why you do something is practically unparalleled in the entire gaming industry, which completely overrides any sort of outrage campaign because when you peel back all of the individual layers, what people really want, that is, the people that actually play the games, is just a good, well made, enjoyable experience. To be clear, I can fully understand why people get upset if it feels like a game was somehow sacrificing a piece of its core identity for the purpose of pushing social and political narratives. God knows, The Last of Us 2 is a brutal example of that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but bad things about The Last of Us 2 being really woke. And also, what happens at the beginning. If you haven't heard, I don't know where you've been, but I'm also not going to be the one to spoil it for you. But I've heard a lot of people are mad about that. I didn't play the first game. It wasn't my cup of tea. And I didn't play the second game because I don't like crap in my tea. And I'm never going to play either one of them. But I understand why people would be mad at the second one for what happened because of what they love from the first one.
And I've made that argument myself in the past several times for different titles. But hopefully by the end of this video, I'll be able to showcase that this, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, really isn't one of those cases. Kingdom Come Deliverance, the original, despite being an undeniably successful product, was vocally criticized by a small group of people over its lack of in-game diversity. But 7 years later, with the sequel, it's now being criticized by the flip side of that very same coin, a smaller group of extremely vocal people, not for its lack of diversity or inclusion, but rather because of it. Primarily its inclusion of certain romance options, which is one of the most painful displays of self-exposing idiocy that I've possibly ever seen in my time on.
Oh, we're talking about the other side. Okay. I wasn't sure if we were talking about the stupid people who thought it was not gay enough or the people who thought it was too gay. We're talking about the two gays. It doesn't matter. I assume this guy is one of the romances, and if you played the first game, I get it. You get it. We all get it. I would not mind romancing this guy. I'm not into dudes. Usually, I like femboys, not gonna lie, but I'm not into this guy. But I would still romance this guy because when if you play the first game, you'll understand the chemistry makes a lot of sense. In this game, the chemistry still makes a lot of sense. I've watched people play through the beginning up to where the credits start playing and the awesome music starts banging. Cool. If you played it, you get it. I assume she's also the girl from the first game. Haven't romanced her yet. Did romance what's her face that saves you and takes care of you? But you get it. She's strong. He is kind of whiny and drunk. Romance either, romance both. Live your best life.
YouTube.
No.
So what are people mad about? Well, there's a few
Everything
things,
all the
but
time.
mostly people are angry that the game contains a romance option where Henry, the main character that you play, can
Which
sleep with
makes
Hans,
total
his
sense.
friend. On a personal note, I think Hans is just a completely obnoxious character.
He is.
So in my playthrough,
He
I'm
is.
insulting him and calling him pretentious or insignificant is a specific one that comes to mind every single chance I get. Obviously, I'll never experience the romance dialogue because I deliberately tank my reputation with him. But even if you tried to find this dialogue on purpose, it's one scene in a game that has like over 100 hours of content. The thing is, people really care about this, and the rumors about this game being woke have been circulating since well before it ever released.
Hey,
Here's
Boomer.
some slop article right here about how the game is reportedly banned in Saudi Arabia, which says, quote,
What are
"It
the
seems like
scenes, though?
highly anticipated
No,
title is promoting
nobody.
an agenda via unskippable cutscenes, which has caused Saudi Arabia to ban it in the country."
What
End quote.
cutscenes, though?
But if you have any understanding of this franchise whatsoever, you would know that zero cutscenes in either product, the first or the second one, are unskippable. Not to mention the fact that the game has not actually been banned in Saudi Arabia. Still,
Okay, so just flat out lie all around. And also, it's not so much that it's not unskippable, it's you can just not do it. You don't have to trigger it. You have to go out of your way to trigger a romance cutscene. Just don't talk to him and be rude to him, or don't talk to him and never pick the option to bang him. Pretty simple.
truth be damned, now that the game is finally released, you have people like this guy. Quote, Gamers, our boycott against Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is working. Huge victory. The game is already trending down a mere 7 hours after launch. Get woke, go broke. Gamers are tired of LGBTQ propaganda in games. End quote. Except, wait a second, because he took the snapshot when people were going to bed, which is a cycle that you can see borne out on every single game on all of Steam. Since that day, the game has reached progressively new concurrent high player counts every single day afterward, so far peaking at almost 250,000 at one time. In the first 24 hours, the game sold over 1 million copies, which is twice as many in half the time compared to the original, by the way. And when you contrast that with its development budget, which was something like $40 million for the sequel, the game is already earning tens of millions in profit very easily. You might be thinking, well, that guy was probably joking because no one is that stupid. But you'd be wrong because he tweeted
There
out
are
the
lots of
next
people that
day
stupid.
saying, quote, guess what? Kingdom Come 2 is trending downwards again, lol. I don't think this game is turning a profit anytime soon. Get woke, go rogue.
I guarantee it turned a profit immediately.
100% non-binary as like a little stupid joke, end quote. Once again, you're probably thinking no one on planet Earth is that fucking stupid, but you'd be wrong because this guy contributes to a publication. I don't know if I should call it a publication. That sounds way too
Fandom.
legitimate for them.
I
But he
don't know about
contributes
that.
to a thing which writes articles like this. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 features graphic depiction of child right there, bad stuff, which is quite shocking, to be honest.
Yeah, that's not
And this
true. That
article
can
was followed up with a statement
impossible.
that reads, quote, watching the entire anti-woke movement rally in unison against the horrible woke fest that is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is a beautiful sight to behold, end quote. Strong stuff, man. Very, very compelling, yeah. Well, the Fandom Pulse Substack, which is what he contributes to, is run by this guy, who claims to be a #1 best-selling author by standing for Christian values. And it turns out he's got a
Wow.
massive thread about how the game is an insult to Christians and gamers. What's more, this entire narrative about the game being woke is propped up and perpetuated by other influencers as well as YouTubers, like this dumbass, who has an entire video about how Warhorse Studios, which was
He's
acquired
got
in
some strong
2021
feelings on this
by
one.
THQ Nordic, which is itself a subsidiary of Embracer Group, was commanded to put the woke agendas in their game. No joke. Because a random
I hope he gets sued. I hope they all get sued to oblivion, into poverty. You don't need to be spreading lies like this. If you have to spread lies like this to keep your thing going, your thing isn't worth it and has no value to anybody other than you.
guy on Twitter posted an extremely obvious and sarcastic troll tweet. Even better, these three, what shitsketeers, doubled and tripled down on the idea that Hans, who the character can romance for a skippable cutscene, is 15 because a codex entry says underage in it and gives a historically accurate description of who he was in the real world. Just one issue with that part, the entire game is motion captured by actors who are like 30 plus years old because the video game adaptation has aged them up deliberately like 15 years. And these characters, Henry as well as Hans, have been sleeping around in bathhouses and romancing love interests since the start of the very first game. You actually get a massive buff to your character.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, Banging winches in the bathhouse gives you buff, and it also replenishes your health. And sleeping in a bed with them also counts as saving your game, I believe.
By sleeping with people.
I have I haven't tried it. I've only slept with one lady. I don't remember if it saved my game or not. I've been save scumming because I am not buying or dealing with the alchemy system to make a bunch of potions.
And that's been true this entire time. Notice how the outrage is only focused on the fact that Henry sleeps with Hans and the supposed underage nature of that relationship, and not the bazillions of women that Hans slept with across the franchise so far. On top of that, since we're apparently using the Codex as our immutable truth doctrine, and thus using it to say that the game is showing illegal material, which they've directly claimed. Another one of the game's characters, Sir Markvart, according to this codex,
Oh, is that the guy who
died
killed
in
our parents?
1302, which is a year before the game supposedly takes place. Obviously, this means that codex entries can't be taken at face value because the development team have indisputably deviated from them in both a literal and creative sense. There's this bizarre and spreading narrative right
That goes against the narrative they're trying to spread, though. So that doesn't count.
now that Kingdom Come Deliverance is a Christian game betraying the gamers. But that's like saying that a rock song which talks about Christianity is a Christian rock song. Christian rock, by the way, is its own genre, obviously. And just because a song decided to talk
It's
about
not a great
Christian
genre
singing
either.
or Christian themes or Christianity in general, it doesn't turn the final product into a whole new genre. Remember that earlier example, Hogwarts Legacy. With Hogwarts Legacy, a group of, I'm trying to not be overly insulting right now, a group of extremely dishonest people who really had no actual interest in the game itself attempted to boycott the product because they didn't like some sort of perceived social slight against them, and they failed.
He's either talking about the trans group who were mad there were no trans representations, even there was, and they just didn't bother looking into it, or he's talking about the Jewish people who decided, which I don't remember hearing a lot of Jewish people complaining about it. I heard other people complaining on their behalf that the goblins, because they had big noses and ran the banks, were representative of Jews, which was pretty insulting because if you see something running a bank with a big nose and you immediately think Jew, that's pretty messed up. That is offensive. That means you think Jewish people have big noses and run all the banks. And those are stereotypes, and that makes you racist.
Completely because the game was good. With Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, a group of extremely dishonest people are attempting to boycott the product because they don't like some sort of perceived slight against their worldview, in this case, a gay romance scene, and they're failing. Remember how everyone laughed at the idiots who were angry over Hogwarts Legacy? I mean, like, we all laughed at them, okay? Yeah, that's you. That's the people boycotting Kingdom Come Deliverance. That is you. We're laughing at you, just like we laughed at them. You are idiots like they are idiots, okay? Don't be an idiot. At the end of the day, it's the exact same basic phenomenon, just new flavors. You can decide for yourself whether or not it's better or worse, but let's not pretend it's wildly different. Two groups of people, for different reasons, decided that a video game should conform to their worldview. To make that happen, they're inventing things and stretching the truth, trying to bludgeon those around them socially into conforming. And I'm not sure about all of you, but I'm kind of a contrarian, obviously. So when someone starts using deceptive tactics to make me do or think whatever they want, I don't respond very well to it. It doesn't matter if it's a puritanical movement that doesn't want games to feature any of the choices that they disagree with, or if it's some sort of diversity quota that seems hell bent on supplanting existing narratives to push their ideology, which is also bad. Because for me, both of these groups are equally frustrating when they gain power and do this dumb shit to the games that I like. A lot has changed in the past few.
Listen, I get it. I have seen people come for games that I like, and stupid, stupid people who weren't intentionally coming for games I like Randy Pitchford in the Borderlands series, constantly do everything wrong and ruin the Borderlands series just by his presence and neediness to have everyone like him by doing magic tricks on stage or completely miscasting and screwing up the Borderlands movie so bad that we'll probably never get a good one now. I get it. It's not the same as what's going on here, but it's similar. Someone stupid trying to ruin one of my favorite franchises because they're stupid. And they just want their way at the cost of something you love. It's not okay. These people need to leave. These people, if they're working in the industry, they should be fired or moved to a project where they could focus that energy on something that would actually align with it if there is such a thing, but they need to be kept very far away from things they want to be a good game.
Few years, and now it's a little bit surreal watching the anti woke types suddenly start doing and saying all these things that are so closely echoing what their woke enemies did before them. Hopefully, we can all get a little bit more self awareness from this because doing all the things that you used to cry out against is probably not the solution. Bottom line, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has nothing to do with woke ideology. I've played it for like 40 or so hours so far, encountered literally none of that stuff, with the weirdest thing being a bandit who said trust but verify, which made me sort of laugh because I think that's a Ronald Reagan quote, maybe. And the people who are outraged over this are a joke. Their logic is non existent. I mean, maybe they're just doing it for profit, which seems more and more likely because
Yeah, there's no way they actually think they're going to make a difference because much like the people on the opposite side that they're mimicking, they are going to make about the same amount of difference as those people.
I mean, intellectually, no one can defend the positions that these people are taking to criticize this game. Like, it's indefensible, but whatever. They're just a new, morally self obsessed version of the same problem that video games have been grappling with for so many years, which is people that don't even play the games trying to dictate what's in those games. It is, with as much emphasis as I can possibly put on this word, dumb. It is dumb. That's it. If you want to support the channel, check out the links down below. The video sponsor, of course, Locals and Patreon for monthly memberships,
Great
merchandise,
video.
social media, etc.
Right as
But I'll cut it
always.
there
I
soon.
don't think I've ever
As
really
always,
disagreed
thank you
with
all
him
for
on
watching.
something.
Question everything, and have a nice night.
Question everything, nerds. Question everything. Let me know down below if you agree with him or not. I imagine you probably will if you're interested in an upper echelon reaction. Thanks for joining me, YouTube. I hope you have a great one. Remember, stay hydrated, take care of yourself, take care of someone else, and question everything.